Hi, I have something crazy to tell you. Possessions you have and thought you needed are actually making you miserable in reality, and getting rid of them can make you happier and healthier. I am someone who personally has too much stuff, and after learning about minimalism, I can speak to how a lot of the material stuff I have complicates my life. So I am currently looking at what I can get rid of and how to avoid further getting pulled down by more stuff. Today, I want to talk to you about how adopting minimalism into your life can reduce stress caused by overconsuming, save money by spending less on unnecessary items, and protect the environment. In order to make the conversion to minimalism, first, we'll examine the background and causes of consumerism that encourages us to buy more than we need. Then look at the harms of overconsumption, including its impact on mental health, financial strain, and environmental damage. Finally, I will offer you a plan to help you start living a minimalist lifestyle today. Because most of the stuff we own is not what we really need, the cost isn't just clutter. It's harming our health, our mood, and environment. And I think we deserve better than that. But first, let's take a look at the causes of consumer culture and how it leads to buying more than we need. On the surface, it seems pretty simple. More stuff should make us happy, right? You need all that stuff in order to fit in and feel good. But there are actually reasons why we keep buying more than we need. First, we've been sold the idea that happiness comes from buying stuff. Stuff equals joy, new shoes, new clothes, a new car, instant good mood. But that doesn't last. And according to a January 2019 article from Psychology Today called Why Overconsuming is Making Us Unhappy, purchasing items can provide short-term happiness, but then it quickly wears off, causing us to buy even more to regain that feeling. Choosing happiness through buying is a cycle that leads to feeling anxious and discontent. Social comparison is the second cause behind why we overconsume. We feel we need the things that others in our life have, or in society. Even if you don't think you care what others have, we all subconsciously do this. The same Psychology Today article that I mentioned earlier says our obsession with buying is driven by constantly comparing ourselves to others. Not just people we don't know, or we know, we compare to influencers, content creators, and celebrities. We see someone's perfectly decorated apartment, their outfits, and it can make us feel inferior and left out. But not being happy isn't the only risk of consumerism. There are other harms, and it doesn't just stop with how we feel. So let's start with the serious harms caused by overconsumption. We'll look at the impact it has on our mental health, the financial strain it causes, and environmental damage. Let's start with how it impacts our mental health, because this is one of the most immediate and personal impacts. Buying too much is directly linked with psychological distress, including anxiety, feelings of emptiness, and even depression. Financial strain is the second harm. All that buying eventually adds up, and before you know it, you're in financial stress. According to an article from 2020, overconsumption and the effect on mental health and well-being, compulsive buying often leads to real financial consequences, like credit card debt and reduced quality of life. But the effects don't just stop with us. It is also hurting the planet too. But beyond all the harms to us, overconsumption also harms the environment. Companies keep products as cheap as possible so that we can keep buying more. We have a disposable society, which causes a lot of manufacturing that increases pollution. Then lots more of that waste pollutes our water, goes into our landfills, and pollutes our water and airways. Now that we understand the real cost of overconsumption on our minds, our money, and the planet, let's move on to talk about what you can do to adopt a minimalist lifestyle and enjoy a more fulfilling and sustainable life. So this plan starts with awareness about what you buy and why you do. Then it moves to action, decluttering and changing your habits, and shifting your mindset toward what really matters. Minimalism isn't just about owning nothing, contrary to some beliefs. It's about owning with a purpose. This plan will help you stop buying things for the wrong reasons and break free from comparison and create more space, literally. Yes, it can save you money and help the planet too. So step 1 is start by taking inventory of what you already own. Ask yourself, do these things make me happy or serve a real purpose? And I suggest making time for this. The Beginner's Guide to Minimalism recommends blocking off an hour on your calendar to start. Step 2 is change your buying habits. Before you buy something new, pause and ask yourself, is this truly necessary? So you now might be wondering how much time this will cost you and effort, and it depends on how much stuff you have, because you need to evaluate each item to see if you can go without it. This is the hardest part, and then you need to evaluate each thing you want to buy to be sure that getting it is the right thing to do. Finally, you need to think about how you will spend all your extra time. So today we learned some of the causes of consumerism, and that a lot of stuff that we paid so much for and thought we needed are actually bringing us down, and we are better off without it. We also learned how we can start taking steps to become minimalist. By adopting minimalism, you can reduce stress caused by overconsuming, improve mental health, save money, and protect the environment. Most importantly, minimalism isn't just about getting rid of everything or proving how little you can live without. It's about redefining your relationship with stuff, owning exactly what supports your life and getting rid of the rest. It sounds counterintuitive, but getting rid of our stuff will make us happier, healthier, and the planet too. So please be open-minded and look at your stuff. Ask, why did you buy it? Does it make you happy or not? Does it serve a real purpose? Even if you don't plan on becoming a minimalist, think about which things you would get rid of first. When you focus on the core of what really matters to you, you free your time and energy and bring yourself real joy.